Elise, it's been 3 years since we did your DNA tests, and so much has happened. And honestly, the person that I'm looking at now is a completely different individual to who you were when you came to me after a yoga class, looking exhausted, so tired, thin. I know you were going through a lot, and I don't know if you'd like to share a little bit about that, but you know, we did your tests, we got your reports, and you're one of the people that, you know, I'm so appreciative of the fact that you take the recommendations from the blueprint test and you're able to apply them so that you can, you know, improve your health and improve your life. So what's happened since then and now?
So much has changed. After getting my results, I was made aware that I had no iron in my body. I had some unusual genes that I'd never heard of. And luckily you were there to explain what it all meant. So as overwhelmed as I felt, I needed answers. I'm not the sort of person to watch YouTube videos and self-help. I needed to have a personalized plan. And yeah, I'm lucky that you helped me with that.
Well, I'm so pleased that I could. And I mean, the thing to understand is that your DNA doesn't change. I mean, you might have been low in iron at the time, but that actually doesn't necessarily mean it was because of your DNA. It was because you were on the wrong diet. According to your genes, you need more protein, you need healthy fats. It's very important, and you won't even gain weight because of your genotype being with the FTO gene, the fact that you are the TT, and your body does know how to mobilize fat stores, is actually indicative that you should be having more fat and protein in your diet. And I think, you know, subsequently when you changed your diet, a lot came right. And other things that we picked up in the DNA report, for example, in your DNA Mind, the fact that you know, you might be carrying some cellular trauma that you didn't know about. It's also, you know, looking at whether there are any addictive patterns in your genetics. What's holding you back there? And a lot of what we are going through can be supported with nutrigenetics, which is really looking at nutritional interventions that, you know, by changing your diet and your lifestyle can make a significant difference. Knowing, as you say, specifically for you, what do you need and what do you not need? And the other thing with the gene reports, which is really nice, is that you also pick up on what you don't need to worry about. So it's nice, you know, for me to be able to tell you that you've got good detoxification, which means that you've got a significantly lower risk for cancer. You've got good collagen production and bone health. You don't have a risk for iron overload. In fact, if anything, like you said, maybe iron the opposite way, not enough. But it's nice to know what you need to work on and what you don't. And there are really good guidelines. And since you've done the tests, Elise, the science changes all the time. I mean, it's still a fairly new field of practice. And, you know, every 2-3 years, all these new papers that come out actually make them upgrade their tests. And now there are new DNA tests that you can do that talk more about gut health, that talk more about estrogen balance and hormones. There's even a test that they have that looks at your chronological age versus your biological age and looks at how old your systems are. So, you know, how old is your brain according to your genes versus the epigenetic factors that have happened throughout your lifetime. So, you know, I think if anything, taking the recommendations from the report, as you can see, it just helps to guide you along in that way that really does. It makes sense. It's based on science. There's no guesswork. It's precision nutrition, precision medicine, and honestly, the way that things should be.
Hel, do you remember, I'm just looking at my results now, and there's a gene called MTHFR. What is that?
That's the swear word gene, right? Methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. Or we can call it something else, right?
Yeah.
Not mother, father. But anyway, so it talks about methylation, and how well your body methylates is actually a prediction of how fast you'll age. So we really want to support this pathway because methylation is all about DNA synthesis and repair, and a very important and complicated biological pathway. But in essence, we can measure how well your body is methylating by looking at your homocysteine levels. That's a blood test. And if your homocysteine is more than 7, then there might be some medical intervention needed. But generally, for the average person, if you just eat your greens, you can support methylation. It's got all the B vitamins in it, which are cofactors for the production of the enzymes that you will need. in your case, because there's a 70% reduction in the production of those enzymes, we need to really support that pathway. So just keep eating your greens, your spinach, your smoothies, and we'll support your methylation.
Well, that's great news because I hate taking pills.
So do I.
Hal, there was something else I wanted to ask you about, the ApoE gene. Is it called ApoE?
ApoE, yes, apolipoprotein. There are 3 isoforms. We have apolipoprotein 2, 3, and 4. The non-harmful one, or the wild variant, is your E3. E2 is also not so bad, but when we see the presence of the E4 lipoprotein, it means that sometimes what can happen is there's a production of plaque. And we don't want plaque because that can lead to heart disease, it can help to build up cholesterol, and also it can go into the arteries of the brain, which is dangerous and could be an early predictor of a risk for dementia. So those patients that I see, or clients that have at least one E or that E4, the best thing that you can do, honestly, is to support yourself with omega-3s. So also, if you don't like the pills, like you say, you can have it in olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and definitely your fish, your salmon, mackerel, those kinds of fish, and that will help you to support your brain. Because remember, we don't just do these tests for, the weight loss or, those kind of reasons. It really is overall health and maximizing everything that we can with the right nutritional support.
Okay, that's interesting. Hal, what is happening with my stress response? I don't really understand what this means.
So with your stress response, we look at 2 genes in particular. The one is FKBP5 and the other one is OXTR. Now, FKBP5 is a crazy one to get your head around because it sounds like this can't be scientifically true, but believe it or not, we can actually carry cellular trauma in our genes from before we were born.
Sure.
And that's actually directly from your mother. So it's on the mRNA strand, the maternal RNA strand. And if there was some trauma in your mother's lifetime, she could pass that to you, and it puts you at an increased risk for PTSD. So when something happens that triggers you, you do need more intervention and support in the form of therapy and that kind of thing to be able to recover better from trauma. So that's part of the stress response and an indicator of your resilience. Inherently, we all have different levels of resilience.
Okay, so that can be a positive thing.
It can.
I'm born with the strength because of that.
Yes.
Strength to overcome stuff.
So another amazing thing with you, like you just said, it can actually serve to your advantage. If you look at your OXTR gene, which is a receptor that produces oxytocin, which is the love hormone, yours has actually evolved and mutated where you produce too much or an overload of oxytocin, which means that you are naturally more empathetic and you're able to discern the emotional states of others more sensitively. So you can pick up on other people's emotions.
And that is from the trauma in my cells.
Yeah. So your stress response is heightened. And it's just something to be aware of. It is what it is. We can't change our genes, but we can change how we respond to the triggers that can impact how the genes are expressed. And that is really, in essence, the difference and what epigenetics means. Epigenetics is how our environment switches on or off the genes that we have inheritantly, because that's what happens. It's like a light switch. When something triggers, it can switch the gene on and off, and that can have a positive or a negative effect. So it's just about really learning to manage your stress response, but also knowing that in a way, it's your superpower.
Gosh, it's amazing. So it's actually a positive.
Definitely.
I remember us having the follow-up Zoom call after I got my results, but I was in such a weird headspace that I couldn't process it. So can you tell me a bit where to from here?
So there's something very exciting that I'm working on behind the scenes, and it's called the Keep Evolving Blueprint Method. And it's for this exact reason. There's so much information once you've got your DNA reports, and you need someone to walk along the journey with you. And as much as I would like to, I can't hold 140 hands all the time and be accountable for, checking in. What are you eating? How are you feeling? So part of Keep Evolving is working with my collective team of mentors. And we've got experts in everything from functional nutrition to mindfulness. We've got yoga teachers, life coaches, health coaches that essentially, once you join the method and you've done your DNA test, we take you on a journey together so that you have support from the people you need to carry you through. There'll be different courses that you can do. There'll be different WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, challenges, get-togethers, so that you become part of a community. And I will be in all of those communities. I mean, we can even have, a group webinar where we all talk about everyone with the MTHFR and, kind of say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Remember to eat your green vegetables. So
it's just a group to be accountable to.
It's not even just a group, it's a membership. It's going to probably be offered as a subscription model. We're still busy figuring out the business side of things. I kind of have more the visionary idea of it, but that's also why we're working as a team to really be able to support you along the way, because health it's a journey of a lifetime. And it really is, it's an integrative process where it's not just about, are you eating right? There's so much more to it. It's lifestyle, it's community, and having that support. So I hope that you will join our method program, and that we can really make it something that's truly special and something that honestly I don't think exists. I honestly think that what we are doing with this method, it's a movement. It's a movement to get our top people and experts throughout the country to say, okay, we are in it together. Let's support our community. Let's support individuals. No one has to go through challenges alone. You're not the only one struggling, and you've really done brilliantly to come from where you were 3 years ago to where you are now into a much better space. So I'm really proud of you and excited to take the journey forward.
That sounds really exciting. Count me in.
100%.